We also submitted a memo, and the theme of the memo is approval for constructive engagement on the rehabilitation or construction of new Kata and Third Mainland bridges in Lagos State.
In another shocking twist of events, after spending billions to rehabilitate the Third Mainland Bridge, the government of Nigeria has approved a major plan to either repair or completely rebuild the Third Mainland Bridge and the Kata Bridge in Lagos, after shocking findings showed serious underwater structural damage according to the Minister of Works. The Minister of Works explained this while presenting a memo to the Federal Executive Council. He sought approval for the project to be carried out under an engineering, procurement, construction and financing arrangement. The minister noted that the underwater inspection carried out in 2013 and 2019 revealed that the piers of the bridges were originally supported by sand and had been completely damaged. The damage was caused by illegal sand mining, strong ocean current, and corrosion. However, my question today is, if these inspections were carried out in 2013 and 2019, the repairs carried out on the Third Mainland Bridge recently was done after 2019, and surely the report of the inspections that were carried out in 2013 and 2019 were present during this time in the ministry. Why then were the emergency repairs carried out when obviously they knew that the bridge was under distress? Why didn't the government adopt either rehabilitation or total reconstruction of the project as at the time they adopted the plans to repair the bridge? This of course is a critical issue that should be looked into. The minister also noted that the Kata Bridge can no longer be repaired. Experts estimate that fixing it will cost about 380 billion naira, but such a repair would not be technically possible. Instead, a full replacement is advised, with the cost put together at about 359 billion naira.
For Third Mainland Bridge, nobody submitted any proposal, but the same problem of underwater problems, in Kata Bridge, the same thing with the Third Mainland Bridge. And when we did the prorata of, what is to be done, if we are to rehabilitate, it came to about 3.8 trillion. And if we are to do a new construction, it came to about 3.6 trillion.
Discussions about funding are already ongoing with the Dutch Bank. For the Third Mainland Bridge, Omahi explained that the full rehabilitation is estimated to cost about 3.8 trillion naira, while complete reconstruction will slightly be cheaper at about 3.6 trillion naira. The minister went ahead to ask the Federal Executive Council to approve two possible options under the PPCF model, either a full rebuild of the bridges or a thorough rehabilitation.
And so we approached, Federal Executive Council and said, look, give us approval, to do two things: to reconstruct it, brand new bridges, or to, do rehabilitation of these two bridges.
The plan also includes hiring at least 7 specialist contractors to carry out detailed investigations, prepare the necessary designs, and compete for either the reconstruction or rehabilitation works. The project will be carried out under a public-private partnership financing model. According to the minister, the government is expected to work with private financiers, and Dutch Bank has already entered into talks about funding support. To further explain, the Minister of Works explained that repairing the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos will cost the federal government far more than earlier expected after a fresh round of structural and underwater inspections. Engineers confirmed that the bridge has suffered severe deterioration caused by years of illegal sand mining, erosion and corrosion. These activities have eaten deep into the foundation, particularly the piles and the piers that hold up the structure. According to Umahi, the scale of the damage is so extensive that it will take about 3.8 trillion naira, as earlier stated, to fully rehabilitate the bridge. Interestingly, building an entirely new bridge from scratch may cost slightly less, about 3.6 trillion naira. This makes the decision even more delicate, as both options would demand massive resources and highly specialized engineering. In light of this, the federal government has already approved the engagement of at least 7 specialist contractors who will be to carry out deeper investigations, complete detailed designs, and submit competitive bids, either for rehabilitation or for total reconstruction. This process will be executed under the EPC arrangements so that funding responsibility does not rest solely on the federal budget. The Third Mainland Bridge, which was inaugurated in 1990 after 14 years of phased construction, remains Nigeria's longest bridge. It is a critical part of Lagos road network, carrying hundreds of thousands of vehicles every day and linking the mainland to Victoria Island, Lagos, with an estimated population of 20 million people. Lagosians cannot function without the bridge. Over the years, government agencies have carried out periodic maintenance works, including resurfacing and replacement of expansion joints. However, the new underwater assessment shows that the bridge substructure is now far more damaged than previously believed. The minister warned that decades of neglect coupled with uncontrolled human activities around the lagoon have undermined the bridge stability. He stressed that government cannot afford further delays. A full rehabilitation would demand enormous resources and sophisticated engineering, while a new build, though slightly cheaper, still remains a gigantic project. Either way, the future of the Third Mainland Bridge requires immediate attention. The minister noted that road and bridge infrastructure is the backbone of economic growth and national connectivity. Projects of this scale, however, cannot be funded solely through yearly federal budgets, which are already stretched. That is why the government has adopted the EPCF and public-private partnership models. These approaches allow private capital and foreign lenders to invest in construction while government retains control over design standards and quality assurance. The Third Mainland Bridge and Kata Bridge forms part of Lagos' most important transport arteries. Every day, they bear the weight of hundreds of thousands of vehicles. Without them, Lagos traffic will grind to a halt. For this reason, the minister explained that detailed investigations, design reviews and procurement processes will commence immediately, though actual timeline will depend on how quickly financing agreements are finalized with international partners. The new financial estimate also exposes the huge gap between recent maintenance works and the scale of the current challenges. Only 9 months ago, the federal government and the Lagos state government had carried out a 21 billion naira worth of emergency repairs on the Third Mainland Bridge. Those repairs focused mainly on surface work such as laying fresh asphalt, fixing expansion joints, replacing guardrails, painting lane markings, and installing solar-powered street lights. While these interventions improve road safety and driving conditions, the minister explained that they did not address the hidden structural damage underwater. In fact, the multiple overlayers of the asphalt added over the years have contributed additionally to the dead load, which has placed even more strain on the already weakened foundation. Today, the challenge is more bigger. The government must decide whether to spend trillions rehabilitating the current bridge or to commit slightly less to building an entirely new one. Whichever choice is made, the future of Lagos business transport corridor will depend on speed, financing and engineering expertise on a scale never before seen in Nigeria. Since its opening in 1990, the Third Mainland Bridge has been subjected to several periods of maintenance to safeguard its structural integrity and manage wear from intense traffic and environmental stress. Long in use and carrying a heavy volume of vehicles daily, signs of vibration began to appear by 2006, prompting early remedial interventions to address commuter concerns. The first significant maintenance operations occurred in 2012 when the bridge was closed for approximately 4 months. During this period, the authorities replaced faulty expansion joints and bearings and applied fresh paint, including the national colors of green and white, to enhance its appearance. Subsequently, investigative maintenance followed in 2013 and 2018. After several motorists continued to report unsettling vibrations from the aging structure, comprehensive repair plans were delayed by the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic but were eventually carried out between 24th of July 2020 and 24th of January 2021. These works focused on replacing worn-out bearings and expansion joints to restore functionality. During this time frame, partial closure and traffic diversions were necessary to facilitate the upgrade. In early 2023, the Lagos State government initiated repairs on sections with peeling or failing asphalt. This effort involved temporary traffic diversion across identified stretches to minimize disruptions while ensuring safety and quality surface restoration. Not long after, in response to the report of widespread potholes, especially along the Woronshoki-Adeniji-bound corridor, the federal government ordered 24-hour palliative repairs beginning 21st to 22nd of October 2023, ahead of a more extensive rehabilitation set for early 2024. Recognizing deeper structural concerns, the government expanded the scope of work. A comprehensive refurbishment contract worth over 21 billion naira was awarded to CCECC Nigeria Limited to address not only superficial defects but also to remove excessive asphalt layering, replace worn-out joint and guide rails, install solar-powered street lightings, and apply fresh markings.